Is MG Australia about to lose its competitive edge by pricing its new updated vehicles a little bit too aggressively given the amount of competition? And I'm talking today specifically about the rather gorgeous all-new MG HS. As you know, I have owned MG HS in 2021, the old version of it. Now I'm looking at the facelifted version of it, and today I'll tell you all about the first impressions. I did not take the car for a test drive, but I will tell you all about the other feels that I got about the car, as well as, unfortunately, the sales experience in Sydney Auto Motor Group, the North Shore MG, and that is towards the end of the video. If you're a local and if you believe that I can give you a bit of a personal advice there and a personal impression. So we'll start obviously talking about the car. So if you're somewhere else in Australia or in the world, you wouldn't care about the tail end of this. This video is sponsored by findaloan.com.au, new service providing you with access to low-interest loans with flexible repayment options, including car loans, business loans, personal loans, home loans, and more. Check out the link in the description for fast and easy application form if you need a loan quickly. I've spoken to the people at findaloan.com.au and I'm personally considering to use their service right now to refinance a loan on my current car. So perhaps this service is right for you too. Check them out. Let's talk about this. So, as you know, I'm a friend of the brand, at least I position myself as such. I'm trying to be fair, and of course I shifted to the other brands such as Great Wall Motor and the other brands such as Chery in my explorations. So MG is not the only behemoth of Chinese manufacturing SAIC Motor Group representation on the market anymore, which is why I think it's fair to compare their new vehicles with the other offerings such as that of Great Wall Motor and of Chery as kind of two other prolific Chinese manufacturers on the Australian shores. So what about the all-new MG HS? Well, let's take a look at the outside of the vehicle, exterior to start with. Exterior is always subjective. However, here I would dare say most of people will like this. They would like this slightly more aggressive, slightly more narrow headlights, definitely more aggressive and more updated, more appealing front grille, badging, the doors, the lines, it kind of is all streamlined. Of course, it's a matter of tastes. Maybe you are a very, very classic MG fan and you prefer the curvy, older look of the classic MG. I don't mind it. That's why I bought it in 2021. However, I love this. I think that the exterior is fantastic. I think they've done a phenomenal job. And the tail end of it, the boot of it, the rear side of it, that aggressive downward cut of the tailgate. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous. I think it stands tall. I think it creates an effect of a very, very premium vehicle. And speaking of premium vehicle, let's not wait too long for the pricing. So the all-new MG HS is offered, at least in Australia, at least in Sydney right now when I took a look at it, in 3 different variants, unsurprising. Vibe, that starts from 38,800 Australian dollars, 38,800 Australian dollars. Wow, that's Vibe, that's the base level. Without panoramic sunroof, with 18-inch alloy wheels and a 12-inch display cluster, the infotainment cluster. For a mid towards large 5-seater SUV, it's probably fair given the year that we're in. All cars are a little bit more expensive now. That price under $39,000 with a lot of electronics, with a lot of usuals, with a lot of things that you expect is the keyword fair, but go check it out for yourself. There is no panoramic sunroof. The wheels are 18-inch, not 19-inch. There is no power tailgate. And you will need to check with the other things if you want to be pedantic. This is just first impressions. Excite model is lovely from the outside. They're all identical from the outside, but the wheels are a bit bigger. There probably are a few other things added as far as the features are concerned, but it is 42,000 something. For MG HS, as a 5-seater of a Chinese origin, to roll over into the category of $43,000, that is becoming aggressive MG. Essence model, top of the range, costs $46,000 or something like this. 46. Again, look, it's sort of, well, palpable smaller increments of, like, I don't know, $3,000 to $4,000 between the versions. However, again, for a still competitor brand on the market that is still earning respect and trust of Australian consumers, I think that pricing MG HS top of the range model at 46 is definitely putting it into very hard competition with a lot more premium looking, a lot bigger vehicles such as Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, or even competing slightly, trying to tussle there with something much more bigger, Chery Tiggo 8 Pro in the bottom of the range models and stuff like that. The engines are the same in all of these three vehicles. They are 1.5 turbo petrol engines. What else do I think about it? I think inside it looks and feels very, very premium. I sat inside, I touched the surfaces. Like I said, I didn't take it for a test drive, and I might consider doing that if I decide to visit this dealership again. But again, from my slightly sad experience today, I am kind of putting that decision aside for now, and I'll think about it. What else can I say? The rear row of seats is as comfortable as the front seats. By the way, front seats have changed from the full bucket seat that my MG HS 2021 model used to have. Now it's more of a segmented kind of seat. It's very, very comfortable. It's leathery, but it has a separate, what I mean by segmented, it's a separate segment of the main cushion of the main seat from the headrest. While the original MG HS 2021 model was more of a pilot bucket seat, completely anatomic kind of bucket. Yeah, so this one is not a bucket seat, but it doesn't make it less comfortable. And no, I have not driven in it, but I sat in it. Okay, you sit quite low. The car sits quite high, but you are sunken in it, so you kind of, it sort of gives you a double feeling, and it depends on your preference. For me, I prefer to sit as high as possible, both physically and kind of perception wise, where the cut of the window, as I referred to it when I was talking to you about Chery Tiggo 4 Pro just recently, the cut of the window should be as low as possible for me. Why? To feel like I'm more in control of the road, to feel like I'm more kind of, I can see further and better. You know, there are multiple conditions where this is beneficial. It's all very premium, and the steering wheel is lovely, the seat is lovely, the central panels we'll talk about in a second. But you sit a bit low, and your front dash, your front panels in front of you are a bit high. So therefore, the visibility, especially in front, is somewhat, I'm not going to say limited, but it's somewhat worse than it probably should be. That's just my first impression. You go check out for yourself. Maybe you're very tall and you don't care anyway. Now, one thing that I'll say is that I kept saying it about our MG ZST Essence model. I said the same thing about my HS Essence model. It has the panoramic sunroof. Panoramic sunroof is great, and it's a great gimmick feature for the showroom floor, where you take a look at it and you say, oh, wonderful, I'm a man of the world, I'll drive around with an open sunroof. But if you're in a hot country like this, you can see I'm blinded by the light already just in front of this camera. If you're driving in the sun, mate, you don't want to drive around always in a hat just so that you don't get scorched by the sun. And I'm saying it even if the shade is closed, because you can see I'm showing it to you with the fingers. I'm deliberately touching it to show you just how thin it is. And that is inside. That car was parked inside, not outside. So if it was outside, I guarantee it would be lit, backlit with light. It may protect you from UV, but it would not protect you from the heat, simply due to how thin that little meshy kind of little curtain is. It's not something that would repel heat, and it's not something that will repel the light, unfortunately. A steering wheel, I briefly mentioned it to you. Again, didn't spend enough time, but I love the slightly sportier, slightly squarish look and feel of the steering wheel. I am in love, and was in love, with the sporty steering wheel, classic steering wheel of MG ZST Essence and MG HS Essence that I had with the red power button, like the boost button, turbo button, and with everything else. It's lovely. It feels great. And this one is even further generation. It retained kind of the spirit of MG, but at the same time, it kind of changed the shape a little bit, which I really, really don't mind. To remind you that I'm not a mainstream brand, and I don't wish ill on anyone. I'm a friend of the brand, so please treat it as such. However, speaking of the sales experience and why I would not recommend that you would go there unless you have established some relationship with some sales agent there and you like them, in my humble opinion, very, very simply, unpretentiously, I think that when people are trying to help you buy a car or choose a vehicle, they need to be helpful. They need to make you feel welcome, and they need to show you the vehicle. They need to know something, anything about the vehicle. But when a person comes across unwelcoming and comes across passive, just standing there waiting for you to say something, and when you ask them, so is the MG ZST, MG HS Essence coming with 19-inch alloy wheels? And they say, I can take a look for you on the website. I can take a look for myself, mate. This is your job. I'm just visiting here and you're supposed to make me want to buy a car. Yeah? And so that was my experience today. Overall, very, very kind of sluggish, passive, like I almost inconvenienced people by being there, even though I'm attracting customers, essentially inadvertently by being a friend of the brand. They don't pay me, but this is just what I do because I enjoy it, as well as maybe some of you spill onto the showroom floors. But unfortunately, that's not how I was received. So, honesty for honesty, you take for what it is. Maybe it was a bad day, maybe there was just some random dude they asked to show around people on the floor. But unfortunately for you, sales team of Alto North Shore, that's how it felt today. If I was the manager, I would probably invest a little more time into uplifting my people and training them and making sure that they're a bit more prepared on just coming across a little bit more like they want to sell me a car, as well as just simply being a little bit more knowledgeable, especially when a customer is more than friendly, is outwardly friendly, smiling, and like me, okay? So that's just my humble opinion. If you're in Sydney, avoid that dealership for now until we hear otherwise and until we have reasons to believe that they have received the feedback somehow. This is just honest feedback, honesty for honesty. It's not defamation. It is someone, private person with a private club of a YouTube channel sharing their personal experience with you, my friends. So all I'm gonna say to you is this. I'm not poo-pooing MG suddenly. I'm just trying to be fair and trying to add some value to you, as opposed to mainstream brands that just recite technical specifications and tell you what they get paid to say. I don't get paid to say it, okay? So I simply recommend that you take a look at the sweep the market for similarly sized 5-seater SUVs right now, including from Chinese brands. Don't knock Chinese brands, but take a look at Great Wall Motor, take a look at Chery. Chery right now is ramping up high. Chery right now is trying to offer you better value than MG. Like hands down, they're trying. Are they better? Are they not? Not my place. You decide for yourself. However, it's worth your money, and right now you as a person with that check of $45,000, $46,000 to pay for a car like this, you have choice. In 2021, out of COVID or even still in COVID, I didn't. That's why we went for MG, and they were a bit cheaper. I bought my MG HS top of the range back then for $36,000. Now you will pay $10,000 more. Yes, it's an uplifted, better version, but $10,000 more you would pay. Oh my God, that's a lot of money more. That's a massive, massive increase, massive. I do not believe that the cost of manufacturing has so exponentially increased for MG to justify such a massive, aggressive increase. And that's my impression. I invite you into the comments below. This channel started as MG Owners Australia. My wife still drives her MG ZST Essence. Very, very nice car. She drives a lot. We talk about it a lot. There are a lot of videos on my channel. I had some good impressions from MG HS 2021 model, but also honestly shared with you a lot of impressions where it was underbaked. This car is a lot better. This car looks like it's a lot better, pending a successful and satisfying test drive experience if I want to endure Alto North Shore MG in Artaman's customer service again, which I will think about, okay? And that's it. I hope some of it was helpful. And if you're not one of the salesmen at that MG dealership, give me a like. If you're one of those dealership people, try and be better. I'm simply trying to give you honest impressions from a customer who you just failed to sell a car to. That's it. You're welcome, MG. You're welcome, my friend. Give me a quick like, subscribe for more videos coming about Chery. Possibly we'll take a pause on MG because now we've seen their new MG3 and their new MG HS. That's it. There is nothing else to talk about. And other brands. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon, next week, about something else. Value cars related in Australia. Check out our sponsors before you go. And goodbye for now.